Behind the bar is a badly stuffed cat. Above a rictus, toothy grin or snarl, wild staring eyes focus on the front door. No one enters or leaves outside of that gaze, an unnerving greeting for those new to the bar. A staccato body leads to a wiry tail, bent at the top to fit into the case, and four paws splayed and gripping an uncertain landscape, as though it might slip away if it wasn't held fast. There's a crack at the corner of the glass at the front from a forgotten incident, now glued and sealed, to keep the cat captive in its dust-covered scene, preserved from no one knows when. It's called Patch, and Tibbles, and Captain, and more, because a cat isn't limited to 9 lives if they're stuffed behind a bar, and no one really knows why. He's the landlord's cat who lived to 19 years old. He's a sailor's cat who saw all of the globe. He's a warehouse cat, the best ratter of them all. He's a backstreet fighter who adopted this pub. She's a ladies' cat who was sorely missed. She's a wartime cat killed in the Blitz. She's a museum cat who became a work of art. She's a writer's muse from some local author forgotten. The case is fixed firmly to the wall to stop it being dislodged on revelrous nights or liberated by mischievous students despite 3 attempts. So no one sees the back of the case, where the faded nameplate that once would tell of the casemaker, taxidermist, and cat, and the junk sale hieroglyphs, 7 shillings and 6pence. It's a flea-bitten cat, so ugly it's loved, now nameless and priceless, stares grinning or snarling as the drinkers walk through the door. Its body oddly arched, its paws grip its perch, tensed with excitement as it waits for the arrival of its next new love. This one's a little bit different. I was doing some pub poetry and somebody made a comment which inspired this one. And this is probably, I think it's the newest one I've written, so I hope it's finished, but anyway. This one's called The Afternoon Strippers. Old Arthur remembers, back when he was young, this pub's reputation for a gentleman's place. Not sordid, but hidden, with curtains all closed, for the afternoon strippers, both naughty and nice. A pub full of port posties and milkmen and porters who finished their lunches and sat with their beer, tempted to stay for one more before leaving, and joined by the youngsters who snuck in with fear and sweaty expectations of becoming a man. Well, not quite yet, this was just part of the trip. But after first pints and first smokes and first furtive feels, this was their first chance to see women strip. First up was Peggy, with a body you could drown in, with swells and waves and ripples and folds, a true force of nature, like an incoming tide. She rolled like an ocean, a real sight to behold. Her man was a sailor, she joked he went down 3 times, but like the outgoing tide, he was always away. To keep her afloat, Peggy started to strip, because when he washed up back home, he'd usually drunk all his pay. Next up was Gladys, a timeless hourglass. The mystery was how she kept looking that way, but woe betide anyone who asked a lady her age, or who mentioned hair dyes that cover up grey, bumping and grinding with a primeval swirl, warning look but don't touch, and none of your cheek, because if you lost your manners with Gladys or the girls, you'd meet her right hook that'd knock you into next week. And then it was Susie, soft curls, smoky eyes, a real lived-in body by 4 children so far. A flesh landslide figure with stretches and scars, but a gaze that transfixed everyone in the bar. A look that said lust beyond all your desires, a promise of passion and exotic delight. But loosening men's wallets was all that she wanted, as she promised the kids chips when she got home that night. And last there came Katie, the young Cotswolds girl, a soft sweeping landscape in a honey cream skin, long lines, flowing hair, silk scarves and poses, a pre-Raphaelite performance extolling women and sin. A studied exhibition from a student of art, pretentious and pompous, but with style and grace. And young Arthur was smitten, love at first sight. And yet many years later, he can't picture her face. He can see the blue feather boa that Gladys used when she took off her bra. He can remember Peggy approaching and Susie's cesarean scar. He can vividly see the old pint glass that went round after each woman had done. But sometimes the old age and the drinking leave only impressions, and Katie was gone. But old Arthur still fondly remembers when this pub was a very different place. Times change, things move on, but the memories of the strippers puts a smile on his face.